Okay, so now we've come to our final question and answer portion of today's show. And I'm gonna look back at what we have. Let's see. When someone leaves a facility and forgets to exit from their RCRAInfo, what happens when they try to create a new one? Um, I think you mean if they don't deactivate their account. So if they're creating a new account with a different email address, nothing happens. It's just like not connected to their previous account, and they're just creating a new one from scratch. So the negative effect that that could have is if that person has site manager permissions at the place that they were working before, then when other people from that company keep requesting permissions, the emails will go to that email address that they used to have at their old company, which means that they won't come to me. So if there's another site manager set up for that site, it won't be a problem because it'll also go to that other site manager. But if they were the only person with site manager permissions, it just kind of creates this loop where people don't realize why their permissions aren't getting granted, or they think like, oh, Noah's really busy. But usually people wait like a week or two before they call me and they're like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, oh, call me right away. Like if you request permissions, it should be granted within a couple of days. And if I'm not granting it or sending you an email about why it's no good, it's because I never got an email saying that you asked for those permissions. So that's the problem that it creates. It's like it creates a problem for the company that you're leaving. So you don't really want to do that. Um, just another thing that I thought of about permissions. If you're working for a consultant, then our state hazardous waste program policy is that we won't grant you certifier level permissions or site manager permissions for a site that's not your company's site. Like you're the consultant and it's a different company. That doesn't mean you can't get those permissions. The best way to get them is if somebody from that company who's actually the generator gets site manager permission. And then when you as the consultant request whatever level of permission they want to give you, they can actually grant you those permissions. There are certain things you can't do even if you have the permissions set up in RCRAInfo. So like a consultant can't certify and submit a biennial report on behalf of a site, even if their permissions in RCRAInfo say they can. If you do that, we will kick the report back and say, no, you don't have the ability to sign this. And that's just like a policy thing to align with the rules. So it's not entirely perfect, what the permissions can be set as, but it's pretty good. And I think that as this change for e-manifest rolls out, it's possible that EPA is going to come out with even more different permissions because for the treatment, storage, and disposal facilities, in order to pay their bill in the e-manifest system, they have to have, I think, site manager permission. And EPA's gotten a lot of requests to create a separate role or permission for that. So, I don't know how this could evolve. For those of you who've been using the system for a while, you know that it's still actually pretty new. I think we started taking notifications through my RCRA ID in maybe 2016, and it's really improved a lot since then. EPA is continuing to develop it. And then of course eManifest started in 2018. Yeah, time. It's gone wonky. Um, but yeah, so I think it's getting better and better. One day, we're moving in the direction of actual electronic manifests. Still somewhere on the horizon in the far distant future. But if anybody's interested in learning about that, there's lots of information available from EPA about doing your whole manifest electronically. And they're trying to get everyone to go in that direction. It will eliminate a lot of the data quality issues if that does happen or when that does happen. but we're not quite there yet. So this is just the next stage. Will be to have the manifests returned to the generators using the eManifest system. Any other questions that people have? We've got lots of time. It's almost 10 and I planned for this to go until 10:30. So obviously you're free to go anytime, but if you have more questions, I've got time to stay here and answer questions. So please ask and I will just awkwardly wait. And also I'll say thank you for coming. I hope that this was useful and I'm gonna fix up that video and get the corrected version onto the website. If anybody has any problems, issues, need help with setting up your account, I'm gonna put my email into the chat. It's also on the last slide, so if you got the PDF of the slides, which is way at the beginning of the chat, if you scroll up, you can also get it from there. Let's see, I think maybe somebody had another question, or people were just starting to put in their thank yous, maybe. Are all hazardous waste transporters, truckers in the state, ocean, on board to implement eManifest? That's a really good question. So it depends on what you mean by implement eManifest. As far as actually using an electronic manifest from start to finish to move the waste, I would say no, probably not. And that's why most manifests are still on paper and are just being put into the eManifest system at the endpoint when they're received by the treatment, storage, and disposal facility. Of course, in order to have it be an electronic manifest start to finish, everybody does have to be on board. Yeah, so everyone can get access at this point. Transporters also can be, managing all of their manifest paperwork in eManifest. Like they can see every manifest that they're on as a transporter and not be keeping tons of paper copies anymore. Well, you have to keep them when it's shipping, but once it reaches its destination and gets put into the eManifest system, as far as a afterwards record keeping, I mean, it's some implementation, but it's not the full what EPA has envisioned, what Congress has envisioned in asking EPA to create this system. We're not quite there. That's a great question. Okay, if VSQGs are not required to have an account in RCRAInfo, how will they be sent a request to change information on their manifest? Excellent question. They will not. That's the simple answer, is that if you don't have an EPA ID number, there's no way to connect that manifest to a person's account in RCRAInfo, and so there would be no one to email that request to. But most of that data that's going to be under correction and those requests are for the TSDF anyway. Okay, can I change the site contact to my colleague who handles offsite facilities, all VSQGs, and just add myself as the additional contact as a backup? Yes, the person who is submitting the notification form doesn't have to be the same person who's listed as the site contact on that form. So you definitely can change that just by submitting a new notification form. And, I encourage everyone to submit updated notification forms all the time. It's really easy to do in RCRAInfo. Like once you've got your account set up, it is so much easier to submit a notification form online than on paper. Because when you click on create new submission, it actually will pre-fill the form for you with all of the information for that EPA ID number that's in the database currently. And all you have to do is check it, go through, change anything you want to change. And yes, adding additional contact is a great idea. That's actually not available on the paper form, but it is available in the online form. And you can add numerous additional contacts. You can have one person who's the contact for biennial report. You can have another person who's the contact for compliance. I don't know, there's a drop-down menu. You can have one that just says secondary site contact, different kinds of additional contacts. So yeah, that's a really good one. Let's see. Back to the transporters using eManifest. Is it sufficient for now for the generator to create the initial eManifest and then wait for the TSDF to add their eManifest? How would the two be linked or updated? So you actually cannot send the manifest electronically unless everybody's on board with it. So as the generator, you don't really have that option. Like if you create a manifest in the eManifest system and then nobody else updates it, like the transporters are not signing it electronically, that manifest is not working for you. Like that will not go with your waste. You have to also have had a paper one, right? And so the paper one is going to be the real one if that's what people are using. So when it reaches the TSDF, they will create it into the eManifest system. It will not be linked to the one you started, and the one that you started basically doesn't count. Like they're not going to have the same manifest tracking number. They're not going to be the same manifest. So it's just going to be like an aborted manifest essentially.
Okay, sorry, this is Brianna.
Hi.
So we would just continue with our paper ones and then wait to
Yes.
access the final one.
Yeah,
And that's what
essentially
we would show.
that's what's happening right now is that everyone is
Okay.
still actually using paper to ship their waste. And once it arrives at the treatment, storage, and disposal facility, they are required to put that into the eManifest system within 30 days.
Okay.
And
Got
so,
it.
right now they're also required to mail a copy back to the generator. And then starting on January 22nd, they're no longer going to be required to mail back that copy. And the SQGs and LQGs are going to be required to have an account so that they're receiving that copy back via the eManifest system.
Okay, so when we're in the eManifest and we want to find those final ones, how are we going to find them? Are they linked to our sites or?
Yeah, so here I will share my screen and go into RCRAInfo. Let's see. Okay, so this is the homepage or the overview screen where it's like, here are your pending items to be concerned with. This is kind of a new thing. It's supposed to be helpful. It depends on what kind of permissions you have, whether it's really going to help you. But it does say that there's something in eManifest for me to look at. So maybe I'll go look at that first. Oh, look at that. There's a manifest under correction that's looking for a signature. I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to mess with that manifest. I'm going to click on my sites, which is how I normally do anything I'm trying to do from the industry perspective in RCRAInfo. And then you'll see I use that same example site. But here's the one that I just added the permissions for. So if I click on this, it'll take me to the overview or site details page for this site. And then you can see I only have eManifest here, whereas on the video I had more options because I only gave myself permissions in eManifest for this site. I didn't give myself any other permissions. So when you click on eManifest, it'll show you first any manifests that you have that are in progress. And then it'll show you received manifests. So basically, all of your completed manifests that have been uploaded by the treatment, storage, and disposal facility will appear here. And you can sort them by clicking on these arrows. So I get the most recent shipment date at the top. If you click on the eye to view, it'll show you first this is sort of like the data that's input for this manifest. I often scroll down all the way to the bottom of this or use the end key on my computer to get to the bottom and then click on view uploaded paper manifest, just because this is kind of like what people are more used to looking at. So this is the scan of the actual manifest that was used to move this waste, which was a paper manifest. You can see all the signatures and chicken scratch on it. And then there is also, we'll go back, a function allowing you to search. Here, search manifests. So you can search by different things. And then I've never clicked on this, but yeah, you can check the status of a particular manifest. So that's good. Especially if the status happens to be manifest has been uploaded to the e-manifest system and is awaiting data entry by EPA's paper processing center. That won't apply to very many manifests because that means that the receiving facility only uploaded a scanned copy and didn't upload any data to go with it, which is pretty rare. I think 85%, at least 85% of the manifests that are being uploaded by the TSDFs are called data plus image, excuse me. So they've got all of that data and then also the scanned copy with it.
Okay, and I think I saw on a couple screens back there, you could see the other facilities that handled it, like if it went through a couple different places before it got to the TSTF.
Yes, sorry, I'll reshare and go back to that. I just wanted to see there was like a little pop-up from someone writing a message. We'll go back to that. Okay, so when you're looking at an individual manifest, let's look at this one. It should show you all of the transporters. And then you also, I mean, that should match what you can see if you get the scan of the paper copy. As far as like who's edited this manifest, it does show, oh, there's our paper copy. Wrong way. Yeah, so we can see like transporter number 1, Pacific Commercial Services, number 2, Matson, and number 3, Clean Harbors. So I think that matches up with what we saw here. So that's good. And it should all match, like all of the data should be the same, but I was just saying that this will also show like who put this manifest into the e-manifest system, when it was last updated. I'm not sure if that's what you were referring to was the transporter information.
Yeah, this has been very helpful since I'm new to the system. Thank you for going through
Yeah,
that.
of course, no problem. Yeah. And EPA has like tons of different videos where they sort of demo the system and show different things. Um, and I think we have a link to their main e-manifest website on our website, but I don't have all of the specific. I mean, they're always coming out with new ones. So I think they have a lot of new ones actually. But for me, the main thing that has changed recently is just that login.gov. And so that's why I was like, I have to update this video.
Hey Noah,
Yeah.
can I say something about that CDX account?
Yeah.
If you already have a CDX account, because like for me, I do the TRI and tier 2, and they want us to all log in through that, you can already just log in there. And what you talked about, adding RCRA, it's a drop down. You just have to go find the program.
Yes. Yes. But you're not even supposed to have to do that in order to be able to get into RCRAInfo. You're supposed to be able to just sign in with your CDX credentials directly on the RCRAInfo site.
Yeah, you can, but it direct because I have both of them.
Uh-huh.
So like if you do multiple, it's just go to the CDX site and log in.
Yeah,
then
totally.
it's there. Instead of before, I used to have the RCRA, then I had the CDX, but now it's all under one. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
It's
If
just for
you're
people who have multiple
Yes,
things.
if you're dealing with lots of different programs, like you're the data person, like Leanne is the data person, then everything is connected in CDX. And so you can just sign in from there. Absolutely. Yeah, this is more targeted to people who like aren't the data person. So it's a good point, Leanne. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I muted myself. Habit. I was laughing. That was funny.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the e-manifest, especially if we're looking for older things
Hmm.
to just close out our data system
Yes,
because
yes. For the benefit of everyone else, Leanne and I have had many conversations about this. And one of the things that the e-manifest system is really helpful for is if you're working at a big site where there are a lot of different people handling things, and you don't want to have to wait for those other people to give you the copy of the manifest that they're supposed to give you. You can go get it directly.
yeah. Manny track went down for a while, so I was just like, where do I get it? We need to do it, and e-manifest was a godsend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very convenient. I enjoy it. Any other questions that anybody has? Thank you for coming, everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope that everybody has a good day and a good week. And feel free to email me if you have any questions. I'll put my email into the chat one more time in case people want to copy and paste it. All right. Bye. See y'all later.